Welcome to class, students. Today, we'll be looking at a very vital topic titled Ethical Labor Practice in Value Chains. Ethical labor practice in value chains. Well, when you hear the word ethical means it has to do with accepted principles of right and wrong, especially those of some organizations or professions. Those are rules, those are laws, those are principles that are guiding an organization. It can be right or wrong principles that are accepted in an organization. It can be also be referred to as morally approved or anything that is good. So this is what ethical labor practice is. Before we dive into it, proper, ethical labor practice in value chains ensures that there is fair treatment, safe working condition, and the respect of human rights for all workers involved in producing goods and services. So it ensures fairness, it ensures safe working condition in an organization, and that the respect of human rights of all workers are implemented and are practiced. So ensuring fair labor practice across the entire value chain from sourcing to production and distribution requires implementing ethical policies, promoting workers' rights, and maintaining transparency and accountability. What is value chain? A value chain encompasses all stages of a product or service life cycle. A value chain encompasses all of a product or service life cycle from raw material extraction or initial input through final delivery to the customers. So all those activities that involve or okay a pod is more like a product life cycle or service life cycle from raw material of the product or extraction to the initial processing of its product to the final delivery to the customer. So that is what a value chain is. This involves activities such as sourcing for the raw materials, production of the goods, distribution of the goods, the marketing, advertisement of the goods, and customer service, how it's being delivered to the customer. So important of fair labor practice are ethical responsibilities, long-term sustainability, reputation and brand image, and legal compliance. Ethical responsibility. Businesses have a moral obligation to ensure their operation don't exploit or harm workers. For long-term sustainability, fair labor practices improve worker morale, productivity, and retention, creating a more stable and sustainable business environment. We have reputation and brand image. Today's customers or consumers are increasingly conscious of ethical issues and may avoid companies with questionable labor practices. For example, what they're trying to say is that there are some customers or today's customers are much more important. They are much more interested in the brand image, its reputation, how the laborers in the company organization is being treated. So it's essential we practice fair labor, ethical practice. We practice fair labor practice in our organization because people are much more interested in the brand image, its reputation, how the laborers or people that are involved in the production are being treated. If they discover any questionable or any questionable labor practice or any shady character in how these people are being treated, it might dent the image of the company. So one should ensure, every organization should promote fair labor practice, which is very essential for the growth, for the advancement, and for the production of the company. We also have legal compliance. Many countries enforce laws and regulations regarding labor standard that businesses must follow. So there are some countries that enforce rules, laws and regulations regarding labor standard that business must follow. So the company organizations must ensure that e the organization must ensure that they are aware of the legal laws and regulations that are guiding a particular country, and they must ensure they adhere to those laws and regulations. We want to look at key elements of fair labor practice. We have transparency and accountability, fair wages and benefits, freedom of association, non-discrimination and association, training and development, community engagement. Transparency and accountability is very essential in an organization. It ensures fairness, it ensures accountability, that there's no shady deals. Another one is fair wages and benefits. This is very important for an organization. They ensure that there is no discrimination or bias or discrimination of any kind. They will have freedom of association. Any organization should ensure that they promote freedom of association, where there is unity, there is unison, and um, um, there's freedom of one to relate, to associate with people. There's non-discrimination and association, when there's no discrimination of any form or any form of harassment, especially between genders, or that is of the same sex or different sex. We have training and development. Organizations should ensure that it train and develop its workers to its maximum potential, to ensure the best production, and to ensure that the laborers are actually benefiting and are being developed. We have community engagement. Organizations should also ensure that they impact in the community around their environment positively, so to ensure that both the community and the organization is gaining. So you must ensure that there is positive impact on the community, the local community where they are surrounded. So ethical labor practice in supply chains. Okay, so we're going to be looking at top 10 ethical labor practice in supply chains. We talk about the importance of ethical labor practice in an organization. So we want to be looking at the top 10 ethical labor practices in supply chain. So we have fair working condition, we have ethical sourcing, we have fair wages, we have development, we have freedom of association, we have non-discrimination and equal opportunities, we have transparency and accountability, we have elimination of child and forced labor, we have training, we have community engagement. So fair working condition, organization should ensure that there is fair working condition. We also have ethical sourcing, we have fair wages, that incomes wages are being distributed fairly. We have development of laborers, we have transparency and accountability, non-discrimination and equal opportunity to everyone. You must ensure you shun bias, freedom of association, elimination of child labor and forced labor. There has to be training and development for laborers and community engagement. Now, benefits of ethical labor practice: we have enhanced reputation. Companies that demonstrate commitment to ethical labor practice build stronger trust with customers, with consumers and investors. improving their overall reputation in the work in the marketplace. We also have improved workers' morale and productivity. Fair working conditions directly contributes to higher worker morale, increased motivation, and enhanced productivity across operations. We also have reduced risks. Implementing ethical labor practices help companies minimize exposure to legal challenges, reputation damage, and supply chain disruption. We also have long-term sustainability. Organizations that prioritize ethical labor standards contribute to business longevity and support the sustainable development of communities where they operate. Thank you very much for listening.